the interface, the interface of that person in that space. And so, like, Angela has a great technology, or she has a great concept of previewing a space, and you can talk more about that, but it is very important for these people. Like, if we go to Disney World and I'm telling my son, what ride do you want to go on? He can go on YouTube and he finds them. He finds the ride and he sees what's going on, and he'll be like, no way, too scary. And he's figuring it out, which ones he wants to go on, and he's very adamant on that. And that's kind of that same concept, is there some technology that helps that person preview and get through that space and show them where they need to go, right?
So quickly, Angela, if you could just describe that, and then we'll go to one last, we have time for one more?
So one of the, I developed this model, and part of the model was enabling people to be the best they can. And some of the strategies or interventions we can put in the built space are things like giving people opportunities to preview a space. So it could be maybe a second level with a balcony, so you can overlook, and if any of you know Wilson's work about biophilia with scanning the terrain, the prospect or refuge background, if you don't know what it's like, the condition is that we're all born to be hunters and feed ourselves, and for survival we would scan the terrain and look for meat to eat. And then at times we need refuge because that big lion might come and attack us, right? So bringing that into the space of what is the prospect of me being able to engage in the space in successful ways to the level of quality that I can given my abilities, how can we put interventions in the space? So some of the things I've thought about are like putting different levels for this previewing, so you can educate yourself on a space. So for example, if you're on a second level and a person with autism was able to preview, look over the space and say, that's the lobby, that's where I can go to the washroom, there's an elevator there, there's a snack shop there, whatever. And how many people are on there? Do I feel safe going into that crowd, or is there kind of a back way? Because people with autism traditionally don't like a lot of touching, and they need a little more personal space. So that type of intervention doesn't need a lot of technology, right? This is the built environment that we can create. And we can create that by the spatial layout, so the spatial composition. We could do it with textures and patterns and colors and lights. We can even communicate, as you're walking, the floors change, right? There's soft flooring, hard flooring. The corridor gets wider. When a corridor gets wider, it usually tells you this is space for more than one person. Okay, so you got to expect there's two-way traffic. And we have all this language in our environment that we sort of take for granted, but some people don't know that. And it could be from a different culture, it could be your mental capacity, it could be your medications, a lot of things. So this whole idea about communicating through previewing, for example, can do a lot to raising the person's abilities, and also, making them feel better about themselves.